The first principle that I want to talk to you about today is values. Values is a mindset. What values means is focusing your life on living towards your values and worrying less about your goals or accomplishments. It's understanding that life is less about what you have accomplished and more about who you've become. It's remembering that when you go to a funeral, people talk about the kind of person the deceased is, not the kind of things that they accomplished. And when we live our life in service of those values, we find much more joy and peace and happiness. Now, goals are good. Goals can accomplish good things. However, if our self-worth is based on our goals and accomplishing those goals, they can easily be thwarted by bad events. For instance, let's say that I have a goal to run a marathon. And in the midst of that marathon, in the midst of training for that marathon, I sprained my ankle. Now, spraining my ankle totally derails my goals of running a marathon. But let's say I'm focused on my value of being a good runner. If I look at myself as trying to be a good runner instead of trying to run a marathon, I can treat that injury very carefully and strengthen that ankle stronger than it was before. In that way, I work towards becoming a good runner and can still feel good about myself, even though my goals to accomplish a marathon has been thwarted. I love trails. Trails are a fantastic way to think about values. Now, when you hike a trail, you end up generally exactly where you started. From a goals or accomplishment standpoint, you didn't really do anything. You ended up exactly where you started and it took you 8 hours. However, when you look at it values about the person you became on a trail, it's amazing to see that you have become stronger, you have seen wonderful things, your life has been enriched by this experience in nature. When you have a values-based approach to your life, it's a lot easier to feel good about who you are and what you're doing. And it's easier to make decisions that work you towards what you love and the person you want to become. So, what I'd like you to do is get out your journal or a pen and paper, and I want you to write down the 3 things that are really important to you. Not accomplishments, not goals, the 3 things that you want to be known as, right? I'll be known as a kind person, a good mom, a hard worker. And as you define those, I want you to think about what in your life you do to work towards those. And for extra credit, I want you to think about one bad thing that has happened to you in your life. Maybe it's a small thing, maybe it's a defining trauma in your life. And I want you to consider how that difficult experience actually has helped you become a hard worker or a good mom or a good friend or caring. And take a minute to notice how difficult events in our lives can actually be the impetus towards becoming the people that we want to be. Now, when I think about my mom, she encountered some very, very difficult situations. She was a single mom from the time I was 11. And that was really hard. I'm sure there's goals that she had that she never met. But she became an even better mom because of that hardship in her life. So, life is not about accomplishments. Life is about becoming the person that you want to become.